Hey, I'm Kim.
What's up? I'm Ariel, and this is
To Whom This May Concern, the podcast. This is a weekly podcast from the Lush Consulting Firm and On the Damn Couch Media.
Are you ready to eavesdrop on some good homegirl conversation? Let's start the show.
All right, welcome everybody. You have officially joined episode 3 of To Whom This May Concern, the podcast. I am Ariel.
And I am Kim K.
All right, and this week we are back to talk about that shit is toxic, because Kanye West has been making like serious headlines over the last couple weeks, and I don't know, Kim, like the whole situation looks crazy, and there are a couple sides to this debate about what Kanye West is doing.
Right. The shit is toxic. I mean, It really is. Then we have to talk about the fact that he's a Gemini. We're gonna get into their shit. So
like, let's tell the truth and shame the devil.
So it explains a lot, but the shit is not funny. It's not funny at all.
At all. I've seen several conversations like, oh, but they married. Y'all got to stay out of that. And it's like, first of all, Kim Kardashian has already said that she is no longer interested in a marriage, and this man has already started legal proceedings to no longer legally even be in a union with this man. So they are very much not married. I mean, and maybe it's just me, and having been married before, that paperwork didn't make me feel any more tied to that person than me saying, yeah, no, I'm out. So there will be people that be like, but you still married. No. The only person that's still recognizing that marriage is the government of the United States, because I've been walked away. I've been said no. So like, is that even a level that people are ready to talk about yet? Because we can talk about government paperwork all day long, but when you stop acknowledging the fact that you're married to somebody, like, are you still married to them?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's just that what the government has is just a piece of paper. That's just what it is.
Right.
And to be a kid of parents who never married and was together for 40 plus years.
Right.
I mean, shit. Just put that out there.
Exactly. So like you don't have to have that paperwork again to even be considered married. I think marriage starts as soon as you decide, like, that's my husband, that's my wife.
I agree.
And to even again go back to this whole Kim and Kanye situation, like, I mean, I get it, like, when you are not a part of that situation, you can get a couple giggles in because like what he's doing may seem a little comical. It's like, man, that is really bizarre. Like, why would you go stalk this woman's new boyfriend on social media, keep making all these posts like, oh, God made this union? And that's another thing that I feel has become very abusive. People use scripture and God and religion to manipulate and abuse people all the time.
That's the same thing they did in slavery. So I mean,
yeah, like, ain't shit changed?
Not at all. And if people don't want to talk about that, they can talk about slavery, but they can't talk about it without and what it did. That's a whole nother subject. But hey.
You know what? Honestly, I will never forget the day that a minister looked me square in the face, and when I said to him that I felt my life was in danger, he told me that still leaving was not a choice, that I needed to let God handle that. At that point, my separation from the church began, because I could not believe that a minister would say to my face that my option was to stay where I felt like I was physically in danger. Right. Because God don't like divorce, which is not true, because there are scriptures that do point out, hey, these are the reasons why you should, no longer be in this union anymore. And one of them is emotional neglect.
Exactly. I guess you can read that part.
Yeah, of course not. Because again, I think a lot of our conversations around marriage nowadays, and a big reason why so many of us don't want to be involved in those types of marriages, is because so much of the conversation is very manipulative. Like, you're required to put up with a bit of struggle of manipulation, even as far as abuse, in order to say, oh, I stayed forever. But what is forever? Like, what timeline is that even?
It's not one. Who define what forever is? Like,
right.
lie. I always question everything. So, I'm one of those ones. I gamble. Like, who made this shit?
Right. Because when we start thinking about, like, especially some of our authors of the Bible, their time frame and their time idea is not the same as ours. Because, like, when we start reading Genesis and they say the heavens and the earth were created in 7 days, they definitely wasn't talking about from Sunday to Sunday.
No.
Like, and I think that's one of the parts that we glaze over and don't really get into. They were not talking about Sunday to Sunday. And then you also realize that Noah didn't take animals 2 by 2 on the ark. He took them 14.
See, like I said, people read, they don't comprehend, baby.
Yeah. The numbers start looking different once you really start, like, trying to comprehend what was happening, biblically. And again, I feel like we use so much scripture to manipulate and abuse people. It's not even funny.
It's not.
It's scary.
It's very scary. Like, I don't know. Kanye, he's
a card.
He's something else. He's a piece of work. That situation can lead to something very dangerous.
Like, incredibly dangerous.
He's saying, like, Kim sent him the text saying that he'll get Pete hurt. No, baby, he will hurt you. He will hurt you.
That is the big thing right there. Because again, while we may be kikiing, let's all take a step back and I can speak to this from experience. When you have said to a person, I am no longer interested in this bond, in this union, and they refuse to listen to you, one, and then for two, continue to badger you with scripture. Yeah, because that happened. Continue to badger you with scripture, keep trying to beat you over the head with religion and say that this is a requirement. You married me. You have to do this. You have to come back. You gave up too easy. You're not woman enough. I am pretty sure, I am almost willing to bet my bottom dollar that the mental exhaustion that Kim is experiencing right now. And let me be very clear. I am not a Kardashian fan. I am not a Kardashian fan, but that does not mean that woman is not worthy of a safe space.
I agree.
Regardless.
But this here is it's just too much.
It's way too much. Like I honestly, again, like, reading some of the headlines, low key, I was like, and this person was a Gemini as well, like, kind of took me back. Because I was like, damn, I remember getting some of those same exact messages with some of that same exact wording, using, again, the religion and the scripture and the marriage thing in order to bind you. Like, I feel like a lot of times people use the sanctity of marriage to more so leash people than to actually be in a union with them.
Right. I agree there.
Are you really interested in being in a loving, healthy union?
You want to just control me.
You just want access to me when you want access to me, and you feel like you have forever access to me, infinite access to me, because we got some, papers.
Right. And some kids.
Oh, when the kids come in, man, the trauma that those kids are experiencing, I cannot even begin to imagine. And love and light to them babies, because it's a lot of them. I don't know how many kids she got.
Is it 3 or 4? I can't remember.
Because I think it's like 3 little boys, 3 little girls, and it's 6 of them. I don't know. It's too many damn kids over there for him to be acting a fool like that.
I think it's 3 or 4. But anyway, it's too many to be pulling them in that. That's just like they was fighting over one of them having social media or whatever.
Yeah, North, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And I get it, but how he was going about it was very stupid. He put everything. Hold on. How about him getting mad at the people who are friends with Pete that he associated with? Like, them people ain't got nothing to do with
that. Why are we dismissing ourselves from Kid Cudi? Because if anybody was holding it down when you were doing dumb shit, it was that guy.
Exactly. You not messing with who you take or who I've done the two. So what?
But you know what? We have watched him publicly turn on all of his friends, because look at what he did to Big Sean.
Yep.
And Big Sean was like, you know what? That man is crazy, on some other stuff. And just behind the scenes, and I won't go into too much detail because, like, this is like NDA territory, but, like, I know people personally who he has thrown out of his house because he just, like, went on a rant, and they said something as simple as, man, calm down. Don't let nobody ever get you out of your headspace like that. And he just flipped the script on them. Gemini shit. If astrology was fake, Kanye West being a Gemini would not make sense.
Exactly.
I said what I said.
Because baby, one minute he, next minute he, like, man, listen, you're
girl.
It's like at the Super Bowl, he flipped it.
He did.
Like he didn't have a worry or nothing in the world.
Listen, I could say right now, like that whole situation with him and Drake doing the concert, Drake better not disclose any information that he wants to keep to himself to that man while they friends or cool, because no.
Because it'll be back, it'll be a war again. Because you know, it was a minute they was on bad terms.
Yeah.
You know, if he dared to say anything, you already know he gonna cry just like he crying now. And he's gonna be very petty. And
you know, and another
petty. Oh my god.
Very petty. Another layer to this is how he is weaponizing the Black community to stand behind him in this bullshit. You just went over and sat on the other side, sir. Do not come back and sit with us and do this whole, they trying to keep a Black man from his children. No, they're trying to keep a sociopath away from some children.
Please, he's something else. He try to play the card on both sides of the fence. No, don't.
Right. No, like we ain't forgot that you was just over there with what you said, dragon brother, Donald Trump. Sir, please go the fuck away. We're not gonna do this. I'm not gonna be able to do this. We'll do. No.
Where's your red hat?
Where's your red hat? Now you want to come and apologize to us because you need us on your team in order to slander the Kardashian crew. Let me tell you something. As much as I want to see the Kardashian crew slandered, sir, it is not you who is the delegate. Exactly. We will not be nominating you.
Kardashians drag his ass.
Please. Hello. Like again, like that whole situation, just to watch it play out. And as much as you see Kim trying to play it out privately, Kanye keeps taking it public. And it's like, yo, when do you stop?
Right. Every text I'm like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Like
it's like as much as you want to be on the inside and get all the messy, juicy details that you never really get from somebody, somebody's private life. At the same time, like now it started to bring up conversations that have too many think posts attached to them. And right now it's like, girl, just go the fuck away.
Right. And did you see the meme where it says, okay, this is like a group message. And what it says? It says something like it's a group message. Can you leave us out of this shit? Like, we don't want to know. We don't care.
I feel that so spiritually. Please leave us out of the group. I'm going to leave the group message because I don't want to be a part of this anymore. But right. I do very much, again, from experiencing this firsthand, to see some of the people talk about this in a way that's like, I almost want to speak up, but then it's like, no, I want my business to stay my damn business. Right. But I could give you a perspective on this.
Right. And it was so many people. I know I saw the rapper chick in Atlanta, what's her name, Akbar or something like that. She was saying that basically what he was doing was okay, but she just as crazy as his ass is. If you watched watched Hip Hop Atlanta, she was nuts. So,
listen, anybody who I can see trying to defend the situation, one, you're in a cult. You're in the Kanye West cult. I am so sorry. I don't care how much you say Jesus, God. You're in a cult. Okay, because you cannot defend this type of behavior. It's not okay. He can be righteous to you in some ways, but you also have to recognize when he is not behaving very righteously. And right now, this ain't it.
Right.
This ain't it.
And somebody have to be able to tell him that, friend, especially if you're supposed to be his friend. If you get asked, man, what? That's what friends do. But it's damn sure not healthy. It's not.
Absolutely that. But I think, he has the amount of money and power and access to where even if his friends were to say to him, this is not healthy, he can still continue on in this very fashion. And it would not faze him one single bit.
Not ever. Not ever.
Not ever.
One of the selfish ones that nothing would ever faze him. It's just crazy how he can go back and forth. before.
Well, I mean, again, Gemini behavior. And if astrology wasn't real, then Kanye West being a Gemini wouldn't make sense.
I totally agree. It's just crazy, but yeah, shit is toxic.
The shit is toxic.
Yeah.
But the question now is, so how do you get out of this cycle?
Now, I did see where Kim pushed the envelope and asked the judge to grant her the divorce without him because what he's doing now. So of course, if a judge is seeing what he's doing on social media, it should be very easy for him to go ahead and grant her that divorce.
Right.
And at that point, if that's the case, some kind of way, I don't know how, with kids involved, he need to leave her alone.
Because building a house across the street from her was bananas.
To go move directly across the street from her, that was insane.
Yeah, and like we could dress this up and be like, this is about the kids all day long, but like, let's have a real true conversation, because it's not.
It's not at all. It's not at all. It's because you're embarrassed. You controlled her as long as you could.
Yeah.
She woke up, she's over it, and she's done. We all know it don't take nothing for Kim to go to the next one. She don't
but you know what? That also brings up that conversation of, because whenever people are in this type of abusive relationship, the question is always, well, why didn't you leave? Because sometimes in these situations, it's easier to stay. It is easier to stay. And again, I can tell you from experience that it is a lot of work to leave. Because just because you packed up your stuff and left doesn't mean that you are out. That is just the start of it all. Right. When you decide that you are no longer going to take part in an abusive relationship, you no longer volunteer yourself. And let me be very clear about that. When you no longer volunteer yourself for a abusive romantic relationship, leaving is only the first part, because that is when shit really gets hard. Right. Because you really have to start over from there. And if you think for 1 second that now you are safe, that is, and I can't quote it exactly, but I know I've seen statistics where the beginning, when you first leave, is when it is the most dangerous, especially if that person has some type of access to you, especially because you have kids with them, or because they know how to find you, where you work at or where you have moved to. That first part of the time frame is incredibly dangerous, right? Like, because again, they are manic as hell. Who knows what's going to happen? And yeah, it gets easier down the line, but still, like, it's hard. It would have been easier to stay and continue to be traumatized and never have to clean up the trauma than it is to gather your shit and leave and start having to pick up the pieces and clean up your trauma.
Right.
It really is. Not to mention when you've been given that dopamine, like, it's almost like being an addict. Right? You were given that high, that rush, and you continue to chase that high, chase that rush. It's never coming back. But you cannot convince yourself that it's never coming back, because every single time you get this close, so close to that high that you once had when you were with that person, it's addictive. And we talk about addiction with drugs and alcohol. We've even started to talk about it with food, but we don't realize we can be addicted to people and the dopamine levels that they bring to us.
That's fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact. You can be addicted to anything.
Absolutely.
And he has an addiction.
Yes. And I feel like at this point, Kim has decided that she's going to break her addiction, and there may be a list of reasons and unrighteous reasons why Kim got involved with Kanye West. Like, let's be honest, some of this was a business transaction that does not, again, say this woman does not deserve to be safe.
Right.
That doesn't say that.
Agree. It does not. One of those things, but so I see picking up the pieces for her will be very hard. It's already hard.
It is.
Man, poor thing.
He
just is innocent. I mean,
girl. Listen, they are two birds of a feather. Between Mr. West and Sister Kardashian, they have both treated Black people like a goddamn Gucci bag. Okay, right. We are their fucking accessories.
Exactly, all of them.
We are their fucking accessories. We gotta. Facts are facts.
Facts are facts. Even Robert.
Girl.
He just had what charges dropped against her, all of poor Kardashians. But you know
Listen,
what? That's what them accessories do. They weigh down on their ass.
because eventually when you keep buying liabilities instead of, assets, you gotta pay.
That's what happens.
That's what happens. It's raggedy. Like the whole situation is raggedy. And again, it's not like they are just the example that we're all using to have deeper conversations about, yeah, romance has changed. Would you agree like romance has changed a lot? Like what we require now looks a lot different?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw this post this guy made and he was like, things have changed because women now don't need a man. They can want a man. And that means what your granddaddy offered your grandmother is not the same thing as you go offer.
It's not. Back in those days when, women needed men, granddaddy or lady was right down the street.
Oh my God. Like I just had that epiphany. I had a family member pass recently and we found out like this man had two families, one before the family, and then there was the second one. So like there were all these siblings that were in this obituary, and I was like, who are these people? Because I've never seen these names before. Excuse me, auntie who?
For real. And they dared the women to say anything.
Yes. Now, but that's just how it was. Everybody had two families.
Right. And now we ain't taking it.
We ain't taking it because now I can't go buy land and open a bank account without my husband or without some man.
Right, because that was the thing. We
needed
to have money.
Yeah.
We
needed men to get permission to do any. Heaven forbid you were the actual one with the money. It didn't matter. That was your husband's because you were his property. That's the whole idea of giving your daughter away. At weddings, you're now I'm taking my property and signing it over to you.
Right.
Can we go no? Because that seems that's a lot.
Right. Well, can we go no? Because I mean, when you decided to have me, you decided to have an offspring, which means I'm not your property. I'm just a piece of you.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, do not trade me as I'm a thing, because I'm not. I mean,
if we're gonna get into it, like we got to talk about a lot of the conversation that we have around love as very possessive. We get very possessive when we talk about love. My husband, my children, right. like we possess people in a way that it's just when Lauren London said that, I don't know if Nipsey said it to her, if she said it to Nipsey, but to the effect of, I don't want to possess you, I want to experience you. I was like, ooh,
yeah,
he's like a whole new world. Okay, so that's what it was.
He said it to her, like, dang, Nip, R.I.P. Nip. That was a traumatic loss.
That was that one hit different, but that also opened my eyes to a lot of who he was and how he was. Opened my eyes to you don't possess people that you love. You don't own people that you love. That you do very much experience people that you love. Yes.
And I think people should when they're dating or whenever they're in whatever situation, like be an experience.
Yeah.
Don't think about tying one down. When you feel tied down, you feel boggled down. No, let's experience each other. Like that sounds so much better.
It does.
Isn't it?
Like especially when I always tell people like I don't fall in love with people. I choose love. Like I choose to actively to love you, but I refuse to fall in love because just like Bell Hooks has said, falling in love gives away the responsibility of love. Right. And I don't want to give away my responsibility. I do want to be actively responsible for the love that you receive from me day in and day out.
Right.
I want to be very intentional about this love that you get. So I'm not going to fall in love with you. I will be in love with you. I will be loved with you.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know, man.
Oh, that's why when people say you a vibe, that is the greatest compliment. I read that meme lately. That is the greatest compliment ever. When somebody tells you you are a vibe, that means you are an experience. And baby.
Okay, I mean, you trying to turn something out a little aphrodisiac or whatever. Tell me how much you love my energy. Oh.
Right.
You ain't got to tell me nothing else. I'm good on everything.
That right there, it'll give you a whole nother high.
Right?
I'm a vibe. Oh,
okay. But I do think a lot of our conversations around love, romance, and even marriage, like we got some figuring out to do, because a lot of we outdated. We have outdated conversations, and this just ain't that anymore.
Exactly. That kind of go back to our conversation last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's no rules and no book. I mean, everybody's trying to figure it out and write your own story.
Yeah.
Your own story. So
that's going to cause a lot of conversation with your partner. So there's going to need to be a lot of communication and a lot of vulnerability. And I think that we are terrified to have, and I get it, because I know I struggle a lot with vulnerability, because I'm always looking for, I have a lot of depth. Okay. And I don't always know who can carry said depth or who can even handle being exposed to said depth. So I keep a lot of it to myself, calling myself protecting other people. But what I inevitably end up doing is damaging myself.
Yep. I was just going to say, you harming yourself. No, I've come to the point where now I feel like I can talk about anything. No subject is too hard. Let's do it. Because at this point, I'm about to be 40. Listen, I ain't got time to play with nobody. So I'm going to tell you everything that it is that you need to know. We're going to talk.
Yeah.
And different things are going to come about in different phases. And at that point, it's going to be that time to have that conversation. But we talking.
Exactly. Like I have already decided, like I'm no longer volunteering for romantic relationships where I cannot be, if I can't bring 100%, I'm not volunteering for this. If I gotta play games, because while I am the queen of playing games, do you understand me? Okay, I can bring a nigga to his knees. I just don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. Having to figure out how to stay one step ahead of you, to be more the most toxic person here. Like I don't want to do that shit anymore. I'm wore out. I don't want to do that no more.
You heard what you skipped that shit I said, didn't I? Say a true Taurus. Y'all full of shit.
Listen. And we the ones that are really, really good at hiding our hand, because most people don't even realize how toxic we are until they realize how toxic we are.
Right, exactly. My child's dad was one.
We look like we got our act together until you realize, wait a minute, you playing with me, you playing in my face, and you really thought you were gonna get away with that. Yeah, I did. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Kim, that you had to date one of us.
I know. I know what signs to stay away from. That's for damn sure.
Girl, well, you know. Okay, so as we start to wrap this up, is there anything else that you might want to talk about?
No, I think we've hit on everything, especially with that situation. So until next week.
Just remember that you can listen to Whom This May Concern, the podcast, wherever you like to get your podcast. We're also on YouTube, so go ahead and find To Whom This May Concern
and subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're one that's into watching visually, go to YouTube. But
we got pretty faces or whatever.
I do. Yeah. So yeah, just go check us out. Make sure you follow us on our awesome social media outlets. It's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is coming. I still haven't did a Twitter page.
Girl, ain't nobody really think about Twitter, because we only really get on Twitter for porn.
Hey, speak for yourself.
I ain't speaking for me. I'm talking like everybody else.
Okay. Yeah. So when y'all go watch y'all porn, I'm gonna let you know.
Just also let us pop up in your news feed too.
Tonight.
All right. Good night.
Good night.